Hi, I'm Ty Fujimura. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Element451, and today I am so excited to show you something we've been working really hard on, which is our Salesforce integration. And this is a native integration that's built into Element451, and it lets you totally two-way sync contact data and one-way sync conversation data between Element and your Salesforce instance, and it only takes a few minutes to set up. So all you need to do now is go over to the Settings menu and click Integrations, and you'll see this new CRM Integrations tab, and you click Salesforce. To set up the integration, you need to make an external client app in Salesforce, which I'll show you now. And you do that within setup on the Salesforce side, and you can make a custom external client app just for your integration. Then you provide the appropriate callback URL, which you can find in our docs, and you grab your consumer key and secret. And so all you need to do to set up the integration is grab your Salesforce URL, that's here, take the client ID, the consumer key from the external client app, and grab your secret. You hit connect, and voila, Element is connected directly to Salesforce. Now, once you're set up with your integration, you'll see this nice status page, and this is going to confirm for you that the integration is working once it's set up. But before you can save it and start syncing, you need to set your preferences and configure the mappings for data between Element451 and Salesforce. I've pre-filled these selections. These are coming in automatically, but if you haven't set it up before, it's really easy. You just pick the entity in Salesforce that you want to use to represent your contacts in Element, and you pick the entity in Salesforce you want to use to push conversation data from Element into. For the contact sync, you have a bunch of different modes you can select for the import and the export. And for both, you're able to create a mapping of the fields that you want to sync between the two systems. And it's really easy to add new fields. If you want to sync a different field out of your Element instance into Salesforce, you just click Add Mapping, pick the field, and choose the appropriate Salesforce field on the other side. Also, for any field you integrate, you can pick a canonical system. So this is the system that wins out if there's a conflict between the two data sources. And this is super flexible to try to support lots of different types of integrations, because we have some partners who want to use Element as their primary CRM, but they have another Salesforce instance that they want to push data into. So we've tried to make it account for any of those cases. Before you can start syncing, you always want to test. And as you're testing, we give you a bunch of different contacts that you can choose from to try pushing into Salesforce. To test, all you do is you hit Import Contact, and the contact comes into Element, and voila, there's the new contact. And all the data that I wanted to sync out of Salesforce will show up right here in the Element dashboard. Back in the integration, you'll also want to test exporting contacts and conversations out of Element and into Salesforce. To do that, you just follow the same interface. You find a contact and set of conversations you'd like to test, and you hit Export Contact. Once that's run, you can go over to your Salesforce dashboard, and you should see your test contact right there. You'll see all of the information that you pulled in from Element, which can map into any fields you want on the Salesforce side. And when you go into conversations, you'll see conversations related to that user. Here we can see a conversation. We can see the AI summary for that conversation that came out of Salesforce. And that's the most important field that people are going to sync between the two systems. But of course, you can add any other conversation field you want. Any of our AI scores, our topics that we detect in the conversation, and so on, or any of the traditional conversation metadata. And back here in Salesforce, we even auto-link between the contact in Element and the conversation. So it's really easy for you to set up additional work in Salesforce to take advantage of all this information flowing in and out. So once you're satisfied with your setup, all you do is press Start Syncing, and you're up and running.